Welcome to episode 2 of The Steep. I'm Jeffrey Mercer. This is July the 31st, 2019. And as I said, this is episode 2 of The Steep. And as we promised at the end of episode 1, we're going to address something that I saw in the Sin Law Focus. So, what happened was, there I was minding my own business. And I looked across the way and I saw these newspaper rack, and I thought I would pick up a copy and see what's going on in my community. And lo and behold, it has a faith section in it. So I did what any pastor would do. I read it and I flipped through it, and my theological sniffer went off. And so it set me on a trail. And I noticed this individual has written pieces in this publication for years. And so I start reading through all of his writings and publishings, and I come upon this from April 2018 in an edition titled Examine Your Beliefs with an Open Mind. The author writes this, quote, "There is something wrong in thinking that your way and your beliefs are the only true and tried beliefs." And then he ends it with saying, "That's religious prejudice." And I know what you're thinking. That's just one quote. So I was thinking the same thing. So I kept on the trail, and I come upon another one from a year prior, September 2017 edition of the Focus. And this one is entitled, quote, "Organized Religion versus Spirituality." Interesting title. And in this article and in this piece, he writes what exactly it is he's against. Quote, "The belief that you have the only legitimate road to God or to heaven." He goes on to say he is against anyone, quote, "saying that you have to jump through my theological hoop to be saved." Now, this is a Methodist pastor in the area saying these things. So what do we say about this? Well, first of all, we say it's sad to see someone who's a pastor thinking Jesus is wrong. I mean, it's to totally contradict the whole faith. What do I mean? Well, he says he's against anyone who says you have to jump through their theological hoop in order to be saved, who says that their way is the only way. Well, that's exactly what Jesus said in John 14, verse 6. "I am the way, the truth, and the life, and no one comes to the Father but through me." So that's the first thing. It's sad. Why would anyone say such a thing, though? And that's answered in Philippians 3:3. The Apostle Paul says, "Beware of the dogs, beware of the evil workers, beware of the false circumcision." And you say a dog, how could a man be called a dog? Well, the parallel is dogs are indiscriminate in the ancient world. They ate pus, they ate their own vomit, they licked people's sores, they licked up blood, they ate dead carcasses, they traveled around, they carried diseases in their mouths. And so what Paul is saying is inclusivity when it comes to religion is to be like a dog is with their food. You can't cast your pearl before a swine, Jesus says. They don't know the difference between a pearl and a rock. They're indiscriminate. And so they eat nasty garbage. And Paul is saying to not be able to discriminate between the way of Christ versus any other religion is to be a religious dog. And so sadly, that's the metaphor for this individual. And so finally, we would just say to this, beware of people like this. Don't feast on religious dog food. Don't eat doctrinal diseased meat, eat good religious food, follow Christ, not these other ways. So that's this week's edition of The Steep. Next week, we're going to address how to tell the difference between a true work of the Spirit of God and a counterfeit work of the Spirit of God. There's one thing that gives it away. So tune in next week for that. Should be good. And subscribe and enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for watching.